All right, so this is our post Swiss round three power rankings, including the Dignitas versus TL game. So this is going into playoffs. Um, First up, we're gonna have. I'll just go through my rankings of the teams. Right, I think C9 is easily the best team. Um, they have some of the best mechanical players. Blabber, Jungle Dift, Griffin. Thanatos has been winning every single lane phase. APA has been pretty good, I feel. Um, Sven, I'm still like questionable on, but Vulcan's been really good, so C9 should be number one. Uh, FlyQuest, I think realistically they should be towards third and fourth, but nobody's been better than them. I think they're my favorite team to watch. They're a really fun, scrappy, brawly team. They have like a lot of fun, unconventional picks. Um, but they're a little bit unrestrained. they will, they will just scrap and take fights they shouldn't just to see if they can outplay. They will bear and throw sometimes. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, they're a fun team to watch, and they a lot of times just win off of like good mechanics and good like early game stuff. So they're a fun team. I enjoy watching them. I can't put them above C, just because they're so throwy. They're still like they win, but like it's because I feel like a lot of the teams that should be good are not. Third, I have Sentinels. Even though they lost to Disguised early on, I feel as though they've been pretty good. And like that first game, people have been scrimming. Disguise is playing with a sub jungler anyway. Don't take too much merit from that. I think Impact's been pretty good. I think Hanbok has been like surprisingly good to me. Darklings is nice, safe and consistent. Rahel's pretty good. Like I swapped between him and FBI in that like 4 and 5. Who he had a stinker ass first game, but he's recovered a little bit. He's been pretty solid in other games. So I think realistically, Sentinel should be like third or fourth. Am I demoting TL after that game? I just watched the TL versus Stick, and I had TL here in fourth before, but man, that Dig game made me want to like. It was not pretty, bro. Like it was really just like they only won because like Core was able to get a bunch of like crazy ults and catch like FBI a bunch of times when FBI was like hard carrying that game. Like I feel like Yeon's still pretty good. Um Obviously FBI kind of like ran away with that game last game, but like I see him doing well, but I don't see like a lot of times it doesn't feel like necessarily his team is on the same either page or level as him in terms of like what he's seeing and what he's going for. So sometimes like I've seen Quid go after like a different target and then Yan dies because he eat in or something like that. Um, Expecting Quid to go for the same target. So I don't know if it's a comms problem. Um, Quid's been a kind of underwhelming. I think he's still decent, but he was not like top of the league as he used to be. Jose has yeah, I think I said his first game was really promising, but since then he's just been like I do my clears and I go to the objectives when it makes sense in my clears. So it's sort of like if you're a decent jungler, you're just gonna out jungle him. But if you're a worse jungle, you'll just lose because he's just doing the right thing and you're not doing the right thing. So I feel like bottom of seats here, and I feel like he, as I expected, but Morgan's was actually pretty good. I'm willing to bump him up to B. I think he's like pretty solid. I don't feel like I have any bad games from him. And I guess like with the occasional pop off, I feel like I'm willing to put him in B. Yeah. Do I put TL? All right. Let's talk about Disguised, and then we'll decide if I want to put TL above or below Disguised. So I think, but Disguise is tough because we've only seen like one series of Carrara. So it's really hard for me to say. Because obviously we saw a bunch with what's his name, Kisno. Um, and Kisno was like, for the situation he was put in, he was not bad, but I think the first series was not bad. The second series, you could definitely see like the communication not being on the same page issues. Call Me, I think, is cracked. Sajid is the opposite of cracked, I think. It's kind of throwaway. Yeah, he had like a pop off Kaisa game, but otherwise, like, I think he's kind of a loose condition. Lions, I think, is pretty solid. He had some really good games. He had some games that I think brought him back down to earth, but I think he's definitely an LCS caliber player. Um, Castle, I think he's one of those guys that like he can have some good games, but he can also just get like mommy dominated. So, Cry was promising in the first game, but I don't feel like it was enough to like have a strong opinion of. So has TL stocks gone down enough that I put them below disguised? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep TL above disguised. That day game was really ugly, but I think, yeah, I think I need to see a little bit more playmaking from somebody besides Core JJ, especially if you're putting Core on. Right, because they've been putting Core on a lot of like the Nami, the Karma, which are not. He's good on them, especially in lane phase, but and he probably has the cleanest. He has the cleanest Nami I've seen. Like he's hella good on that champ, but I think this team really lacks playmaking. Um, so like last game was really all just Core having insane Nico ults that won them that game. Otherwise, they were gonna lose that shit. So yeah, I'd like to see either Cora more engaged supports or Jose and Morgan pulling more weight. But I'm okay with leaving them in fourth. But I think I could see them going out in the first round. This, but I think like they're pure mechanical players. Like it's also like that last game was also a best of one, and like yeah, I think just based on pure mechanical skill, I think they could probably beat some of these other teams in a best of five. Like DSG, I'm really worried about Sajid. I think Call Me is cracked, but like I think they really have to like outdraft TL to win that shit. Not that they can't, but yeah. So I'm gonna keep TL in fourth. Fifth, we have Disguised. I already explained everything for them. Yeah, I think Sajid is kind of a lost condition, but they have some good X Factor, and Lions can have some pretty good games. You can also like not be that good, but like I think they have the potential. I think Call Me's cracked. Love to see more Kryra. I think they have a decent ceiling, but they also have a kind of low floor. So I feel comfortable keeping them here in fifth. Sixth, we have Lion. I think if Inspired doesn't fucking hard carry this team, they fucking run that shit down. It's just so like Berserker is good, but like bro, it's so tough because Saint is so bad. Saint is just so bad. And Doko's not bad, but he's a weak side top laner. Like Doko's not gonna carry the game, bro. They don't give him any help. He just sits there and tries to not lose too hard, and then try and be relevant in the late game, right? And he's good at that, but like he's not gonna carry the game. And Say's not fucking carrying you games because that man is terrible. So then it becomes Berserker's job, and Isles is like not that good. It's kind of bad, if I'm being real. Like he doesn't really have that much impact. Oh, yeah. I mean, it really feels like Inspired has to hard carry the game where they just lose, and that's just like tough. So like, I think they deserve to be in six. I mean, it sucks for them because they didn't get the top laner that they were expected to have. Doko's not the worst pick, but I think at the end of the day, Saint cannot be taking up your import slot. Like, you gotta swap that man out. Like, you just gotta swap him out. You swap Saints out, we can have a conversation about this team. I don't know why they got rid of Lions for Isles. Lions is just, I think, better than Isles, but um, it is what it is now. But I think you have to get rid of Saint, bro. There's got to be a better player than Saint. And then Dig and Shopify. It doesn't really matter talking about them at this point because they're eliminated. But yeah, I mean, Dig. Unfortunately, they didn't have their bot duo in the first series. Like, I think in the pre-split power rankings, I had them 7th, and then somehow they ended up back in 7th. They look like the worst team, but then they made their way back just because Shopify was terrible. I actually think like this team has decent potential, right? I think FBI and Ignar are solid players. I think Photon's good. I don't know if he's like the greatest. I feel like he finds good opportunities to be impactful. You know, he's not as dominant or consistent as some of the other players, but like I see him. I have him at the top of C tier, right? He's either bottom of B or top of C. That's how I feel. So I think it's just the issue is just XU and Palafox are just the worst jungle mid in the league. Well, actually, Shopify might have changed that, but I consider them I've considered them the worst jungle mid. I don't know how they can, unless Palafox, his Talia was decent. He had some decent Talia games, but outside the Talia, like, and that was also against like this underperforming TL squad and this terrible Shopify squad. Yeah, I mean, just if you can get to mid to late, like in that TL game, like he can actually have some decent plays and get you some shit, like. But it requires the other team to just be bad. So they're in 7th. They deserve to be in 7th. I could see if other teams are bad, I could see them actually like in future splits scrap their way up into like a 5-6. 4 if everybody fucking sucks, but it should be like around 5-6. But I think they should look into getting a different jungle mid. Because the rest of their plays are actually decent. It's just their jungle mid is hot garbage. And then Shopify, I mean, we all watch those games, right? Seos is dog water. Contracts was terrible. He didn't do any. He like lost them in like almost every game, bro. He hard lost them some games. Other games he just like didn't do anything. Zinni was like pretty underwhelming. He wasn't like the worst player in the world, but like this is supposed to be the upgrade to your roster from last season, and like he's still below average. I consider like Darkwing's like the bar for C tier, and Zinni is like pretty below that bar. I don't know if maybe contracts and Zinni just have no synergy. I don't know, but it didn't look good. Fudge was okay, but I mean I don't really hold it against him. Like, you're the top laner, you had some good, some bad plays. That shit's not really gonna be on you. That shit was, I put that shit on contracts and Seos and Zinni. B-Boy had some good, B-Boy had some bad. I've always had him at the bottom of C tier. I think it's fine if he stays there. Yeah, so that's my thought on these rankings for this Swiss round 3, and then we're gonna go into playoffs. Do I want to shift anybody? Yeah, so I'll just talk about individual lanes now. I think Thanatos has been the best laner by far. I have some questions about his mid to late because I don't feel like he gets massive advantages in lane, but then he doesn't really. They haven't needed him to do that much, but like he also hasn't done that much in the mid to late. So I still want to see that, which is why I had him at the top of C tier last split. Um, I think he's been good enough for me to put him in B, but like I still have more I want to see. Same with Impact. I think he has a good lane plays, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't have a as good of a mid to late game impact. Morgan, I feel like it has been pretty good, pretty consistent. He's had some games like he had that one Renekton game where he popped the fuck off. It was against a bad team, but he did pop the like it was against Fudge, but he did pop hella off. Destroyed Fudge's Gnar. These games have been decent. I think he's strong, stable, top laner. Photon, I feel like he's sort of the opposite where like of like Thanatos Impact, where I feel like he has some crazy good like late game plays, but I don't feel he's like as consistent in terms of like other stuff. I feel like maybe he just does good against bad teams. Maybe it's just a win condition against like bad teams, but I'm okay with having him at the top of C, which is sort of where I had him last time. Castle giveth, Castle taketh away. I'd probably have Castle more towards the bot side, but I feel like a lot of the North American top laners have not been as good. So he's ended up somehow back in 5th, even though I think I was thinking having him towards 7. Fudge, yeah, I mean, his team has just been bad. He hasn't been the best, but like I can't put that much on him, you know. Dokla, yeah, he does his role of being a weak side top laner, but like that only works when the rest of your team is good, like I just have to watch him go down like 30 CS. Like sure his team gives him no resources, but like I just have to watch you go down 30 CS every game, and sure you're like decent for being down all game, but like you're not really being a win condition, right? You're just gracefully losing. I don't know. And Gakos has been like, for how good his team has been, he's been kind of like iffy. Like he hasn't not been like that impactful. Now that I say it, do I want to put Dokla lower? It's okay. We'll see. We'll see more of Dokla and Gakos. But I might demote one of them to D. They're on the watch list. It feels bad because Dokla went to Worlds last time in this, basically doing the same thing he's doing now. But I think the flaw of it when you don't have the best mid laner in the league is kind of noticeable. Yeah. Jungle, I mean, Inspire is still really good. His team is just dog water, so he's stuck. Blabber, I mean, he was really good. He's been good. He's always been like pretty good, but he really did show off against Griffin, and obviously looks like they prepped a lot for that matchup because he exerted dominance. So yeah, I mean, Griffin's fun and exciting. He did get domed by Blabber, but he's a fun, exciting rookie jungler. He has like interesting picks and stuff. He's fun and exciting. Hambuk has been pretty good. I feel like he's been one of the reasons that Sentinels has been like. He's an activation point for their early game and their like mid to late a little, to get them through, and then like. Yeah, I feel like he's been solid. He's not like the most consistent player, but I feel like he's a good activation point. Krara, I just need more sample size, but he looked interesting, exciting. Jose Dioto, as I said before, he's kind of just like the bar. He's not gonna do anything crazy. He had that. It's just that first game would look good, and then everything after was like, what? I mean, it's just TL's bot dives have also been like hella questionable when you're doing it with like the Nami support, but yeah, he's like bottom of C. If you're a good jungler, you'll beat him. If you're a bad jungler, you'll lose to him. If you lose to Jose Dioto, you're basically losing to yourself. XG's not good. Contracts was terrible. So I don't know. I feel like he should not be terrible, but he has been. So I hope he comes back and is not terrible in the later splits. Mid lane, Call Me has been super exciting. He's super like mechanically dope. His mechanics look so clean. I want to put him in A to be honest. But like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait until I see playoffs to judge. But his mechanics are super clean. That's why I'm in first. APA has been like really good on certain picks, and like his map movements are really good. Like that's how I think it was game one. They just like ran over FlyQuest. Like yeah, I mean I feel like he's the best in terms of macro. Quad I think has been solid. Um, you know he doesn't have to pull as much weight as maybe like Call Me or APA, but like I think he's been good. Um, right. He does a lot of work, and he's mechanically pretty good. He's always like solid in lane. So yeah, I'm happy to keep him there. Third, Quid. I think a little. I was hoping for more out of Quid. I think he's just been like kind of okay. I'm gonna wait for playoffs before I demote him to C, but he's on that cusp. Dark Wings, safe and consistent mid laner. Um, yeah, I mean he's not. He had the one bad cast game, but besides that, he's gonna play safe. He's like not bad in lane. He's not good in lane, but he's not bad in lane. He'll play safe. DPS. He's like a Froggen type player. If he has his ear, he can find. He's not gonna go get a crazy play, but he'll find like a good, solid, easy to notice play. Zinni's kind of underwhelming, below average to me. He's not the worst, but he's not really like helping carry his team. He's like a tertiary carry type player, but then the rest of his team, maybe he's just not synergizing with his jungler. I don't know, but underwhelming. Sainted Dogwater, get him out of here. Palafox looked bad on everything besides Talia, get him out of here. ADC, Giannis looked really good, a little disjointed with his team, as I said. But he's looked pretty good for most of the games. Masu has been mechanically pretty clean. Enjoyed it. We'll just we'll just wipe the Scion game. It's fine. Berserker's been pretty mechanically good. I didn't watch the first game against Dig because fuck that. They're playing with subs anyway. But I mean, I feel like he's been good, but I need to see him actually carry the game. Almost being the best damage source is good, but like I don't know, his lane phase is good. I just need them to actually see him follow through on the carrying. But I do feel like Lion is sort of like a team chemistry diff, team synergy diff, or mid support diff. FBI and Rahel have both been pretty good. I oscillate between having them fourth and fifth. I could very well see them swapping in every single game. But they're both in that top range of C. They're both like C+. B-Boy's fine. He loses some lanes, but he'll still like carry some games. I'm fine having him C. Sven has had some decent games, but he also like dies randomly when he should not be dying. Last season, I thought he was a major loss condition. Like, I felt like he was just losing them every game. They've been doing well enough that, like, his ints haven't, like, cost them games or series, but, like, it's still a question mark for me. Sajid, same thing. Just lose him, gets caught, loses some stuff. Not a great laner. It is what it is. But they both have had some decent games, so, like, they're not the worst players. Their D is, like, more like a Zinni D rather than like a Saint or Palafox D. Support, Vulcan's been like good in every game. Cryogen, great laning. Vulcan I'm like tempted to put in A, but like I'll leave him in B for now. Cryogen has been like pretty good lane support. Not sure if he has the same like macro rotation stuff as some of the other support players, but he's young and exciting. Love the lane picks. Core JJ has been like, his Nami's crazy good. His Nico obviously hard carried them that last game. He does have some ink games on like Alistar and shit. Like he'll just like int his face off. I don't know. He's at top of C, bottom of B for me. Who he had terrible at the start, but like I think he's been ramping up a bit. I could see him move back into B come playoffs if he locks in. Lion started high, came back to earth a little bit to me, but like I'm happy to keep him in C. Ignore was pretty good, pretty solid. His team's kind of bad. I feel like he's not really. He's playing what he likes. I don't know if it's really like the top meta picks. He's been decent on it, but yeah, I'm a little questionable on his where he is in playing meta stuff. IELTS is not. I feel like IELTS doesn't impact anything. Sales I think is bad. There's my pre-split rankings. So actually, let's look at the lock-in schedule. Wait, C9 picked. They picked who they played in round 1, right? They picked FlyQuest. They said we want to play FlyQuest round 1. Yeah, because they went 3-0, so they get to pick which 2-1 team they play, and they picked FlyQuest. I mean, I guess they feel like since they dismantled them so hard last time, they have a good read on him, but I think that's kind of crazy. Well, I guess we'll see if they can repeat it 3-0. It's a best of 5 instead, but we'll see it. We'll see it. I mean, I think C9 should be heavily favored, but you never know. Sentinels versus Dig. Or no, sorry, Disguise. Alright, so we actually... Right, we didn't really get to see the matchup round 1 because, you know, Disguise didn't have the jungler. People hadn't been practicing, so... I've had Sentinels above Disguise this whole time, but we'll get to actually see if Disguise can do it again. Or if Sentinels has had enough time to ramp up. Should be exciting. I think... Oh, I'll give like my percentage. I think C9 versus FlyQuest is like 65% for C9, but like... I think it's a bit questionable to choose that as your opponent. Sentinels versus Disguised, I think it's actually pretty even, but I'd go like 55% to Sentinels. Just because I think they have better players, but I could see it going either way. They have more experience too, right? They have Impact, they have Huhi. I could see it going well for them. And then going into losers, Lion and TL. I mean, what's unfortunate is one of them is going to have to play against FlyQuest. I don't know how they decide. Does it say how they decide? Does it say like loser of blah blah blah? Okay, I don't know how they decide. Like, is it that FlyQuest goes here and Sentinel versus DSG goes here? I don't know. Whoever has to play against FlyQuest, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe you can pick some wins off them being on coordinated late game. It's a possibility. But I also think that might be a tough one. Who did FlyQuest beat? Again, they beat Shopify, Disguise, and C9. So technically, actually, they haven't played against either Lion or TL. So those are new matchups. And both of those teams do have experienced players who could maybe take advantage of those macro shortcomings. Right, because Shopify is kind of dog water, so we're not like... But they did do a good... They did beat Disguise in that round 2. Which is the other one of the other 2-1 teams, so... Yeah, I mean, there is upset potential, I think, but FlyQuest should probably beat... FlyQuest or C9 should probably beat whichever team they end up against. DSG and Sentinels. I feel like their floor is better than these teams, but their ceiling... If either of these teams get their shit together, they could probably beat the loser of this, so... I think it's a proving ground. But yeah, so I'm excited. I think C9, FlyQuest are the favorites. Sentinels is like dark horse. The other three, whoever makes top 4 is happy. That's what I'd say. All right. So, um, I don't know how much I'm gonna be out of town this weekend, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be watching during the weekend, but uh, I'll probably catch some in the beginning of the week. All right, and I'll see y'all on the next.